Culture gaps. Culture gaps. Culture gaps. Culture gaps. Culture gaps.
Welcome to Culture Gaps, a podcast where we talk about famous movies that one or both of us has not seen. I am your host, Mike.
I am your other host, Greg.
Yeah, you are. Today we're going to talk about a movie that my boy Greg has never seen.
It's true.
It is actually,
I have not seen it.
it's one of my favorite movies, Greg. Not in my top 10, as we established in the last episode, but it's up there.
Yep. That's high praise.
It is high praise. I really love this movie, but I don't think you will.
So you chose a movie that you think I'm not going to like.
Look, I just wanted to watch this freaking movie again.
Fair enough.
I'm here for it.
So what movie are we talking about?
We're gonna check out a movie that is a remake.
Mhm.
All right, a movie directed by my boy Melvin Brooks.
Oh, Melvin.
Yep. A musical, your favorite.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I hate musicals.
God, I love him so much. I wish life was a musical.
No, that would be horrible.
I would love it. I love when people just do flash mobs and break out into numbers.
I don't think that you actually like that.
I do, 100%.
No, that stuff just makes me cringe.
I love it. But yeah, we're watching The Producers, man.
The Producers.
Yeah. What do you know?
Springtime for Hitler.
Oh, love it. I sing that song
Okay.
all the time.
Here's what I know about this movie.
Yeah. Go.
It's about some guys who want to stage a musical that's going to bomb
Yep.
for like, I don't know, to get like insurance money or something. I don't even know what the scam is, but they're somehow going to make money if this play does badly. But then it becomes an unexpected smash hit, and they have to just sort of like keep a straight face about this like wildly anti-Semitic, horrible musical that they made that was intended to be the worst thing ever, but people love anyway.
Does that premise that you just laid out, doesn't that sound good though? Because I think it does. Because I think that sounds great.
It sounds like a very thin premise, and I don't understand how it could sustain an hour and a half long movie.
Do you know who's in the movie though?
Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick,
Yes.
I believe, are the two leads.
That is, just so you know, that's Timon and Simba.
Matthew Broderick plays Simba?
Yeah, adult Simba. You didn't know that? This is why I love this movie so much. It's just people from The Lion King, which is in my top 10.
I thought Jonathan Taylor Thomas played Simba.
Young Simba, when he's baby Simba, when he's like, Dad,
I
why are
mean,
you dead?
Yeah, but he's only an adult for like 10 minutes of that movie, right?
I want to go out on a limb and say that he's an adult for the majority of the movie.
No.
For more,
no,
maybe
no.
half, but I think it's more than half.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what. I promise you this. I'm gonna go rewatch Lion King, and I'm gonna count. I'm gonna time it. See how long Simba's young and how long he's old.
Okay. Here's my real guess. He is only adult Simba for the last 30 minutes of the movie.
I mean, the movie's.
That's my
How long is the
prediction.
movie? Not too long, right?
It's probably like an hour and a half. Yeah.
Okay, I'll time it for you because I watch that movie
right.
weekly. So.
Great. With your kid. I
But,
see.
no, I watch when she goes to sleep. That's the first thing I do.
Oh,
Turn on
right.
Lion King, watch it.
Yep.
Which is also a musical that it's got some singing.
Yeah.
You know some other people in this movie because I told you Will Ferrell's in it.
Right. Will Ferrell. So strange that Will Ferrell is in a Mel Brooks
It is strange.
farce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this movie, in terms of what I think happens in it, I think there's probably going to be a lot of... it's going to open with showing us Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane being down on their luck, and we're going to see the predicament that they're in why they need this money in the first place. They owe someone something, like some loan shark or something. Then they're gonna like hatch this plan while they're like, you know, sitting around drinking out of like, you know, brown paper bags or whatever in New York. I assume this takes place in New York City. And then they're going to hold like open auditions for this shitty musical. And there's going to be like all these wacky characters who come in and out for auditions. And the wackiest ones are the ones who are going to be hired. And they're going to be sort of like cast of misfits that we follow throughout the whole movie. And at first you don't really take them seriously. But like then by the end of the movie, once it's a smash hit and they're successful, you're like, oh, you know, I kind of like these characters now. They seemed really goofy initially, but now I've really warmed up to them. And, you know, eventually then, like, you know, halfway through the second act, everything's going to crumble. The facade's going to fall away. People are going to find out that this was all an elaborate ruse or whatever. And, you know, they're going to, you know, get dragged through the headlines or whatever. Like, these guys are frauds. They made this shitty musical just to rip people off. And it's going to be this whole thing. And then somehow they're, you know, going to resolve it and, like, you know, find their whatever, like their romantic interest is going to fall for them all of a sudden. And someone's going to offer them to make another play or something. And they're just going to keep making like horrible, you know, bad musicals from there on out or something. And everyone lives happily ever after. That's what I imagine happens in this movie.
Man, I'd love if you start writing some movies because that sounds great. Those are the kind of movies I want to watch.
Yeah, that's that's what I imagine this movie is.
Wow. That was like half of what you described was the Muppets and half of it was like Glee, and I loved it. I loved it from beginning to end.
Yeah, it's just a very broad that's the general structure of most movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keep in mind, this is a comedy musical. Comedies don't generally are known for their plots, Craig.
Yeah, no, I mean, what I just described was not plot heavy, I don't think.
What's the most plot heavy comedy that you can think of?
I mean, this is a TV show, but The Good Place.
Movie. Because I could name a lot of TV shows that do it. TV's different, a whole different world that we're not allowed to get into.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some, but, you know, I think, well, I mean, like Death at a Funeral. I guess that's a random one that comes to mind. Where a lot of the jokes and the humor come from the sort of stacking conflicts that happen. But yeah, I mean, I take your point.
Yeah.
Most comedies, it's like, it's just, the premise is just there to support jokes.
Right. So it's not like you need to get too crazy with an elaborate plot in a comedy.
No. But I think I avoided this particular one because I just don't like musicals.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's musical.
Although, I guess to be honest with you, I assumed that this movie was not a musical. It was a movie about a musical.
Interesting.
So while I assumed that there would be like one or two musical numbers, it would be like, they would be like diegetic musical numbers, meaning that they exist within the world of the movie.
Oh, did I ruin that for you?
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
That would have been interesting.
You're making it sound like the whole thing is a musical, which
crap
is turning me off even more to this movie.
Oh shit! I thought you knew this about the movie.
No, I thought it was just a movie about a musical.
Oh, there are layers,
and that any singing and dancing would just be like on stage happening within the movie.
Wow. Okay, what's your favorite musical, Greg?
My favorite musical is
Hairspray.
Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along.
Oh, I love that. Love it. That's not a movie though, is it? That's like a show or a web series.
It's like a short film, maybe. It's like an hour.
It's a series, isn't it?
It's three. You could break it up into 3 episodes, but it's like an hour long, so it's hard to categorize.
Man, I do love that so much.
Here's the reason why I like that and I don't like most other musicals.
Yeah, go.
One, it's funny. Like more than anything else, the songs are just there to be funny songs. And I can get behind that. What I can't get behind are songs or movies where it's just like these songs are just the characters just like, this is what I'm feeling. Like I just don't. What I don't like about musicals is that a lot of times I think the songs are just telling instead of showing. It's just the characters explicitly saying what they're thinking and feeling in song. And it's just like, well, I kind of already gleaned this from the scene that just happened. Like, like, oh, their overbearing father yelled at them and now they're singing a song about how they don't like to be yelled at by their overbearing father. I'm like, I got that.
I'm real curious. Do you like Lin-Manuel and his?
So
because it does that.
There was like one song in Encanto that I really liked.
Okay, because
Surface Pressure was good. I liked that one.
Most of his stuff is people singing about their feelings, not like comedy stuff. And I was curious how you felt about that. Okay,
Yeah.
Well, that gives me a little hope. You like the Muppets though? Muppets musicals.
I do like the Muppets.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually space out during their musical numbers, but again, if there's comedy,
I love the
in
Muppet
the
songs.
music. I mean, I like Rainbow Connection is a good song.
No.
For sure.
I guess
No.
no, it is. But I want to talk about the comedy ones. Like
Wow.
Rainbow Connection is not a comedy. That's just like an endearing Kermit moment. Like
Yeah.
when the newer
It's a good
Muppet
song.
movies, even when they're actually doing like comedy numbers, because it's written by Flight of the Conchords people.
Well, just one of them.
Brett
McKenzie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jermaine's in the movie, and one of them.
Yeah, one of them.
Oh man, they got such good songs in those movies, though.
They're okay. Every movie. I mean, people love Disney musicals too, and I have, even as a kid, I hated the music, like in Lion King and stuff.
Fucking hate you. I hate that so much because that's my life. Lion King,
It's just
Aladdin.
like so boring. It's like it's basically like the movie stops. There's no more plot. Like nothing is moving forward at that point. You're just listening to a song for 3 minutes, and it's like, well, but what about the movie though? Why did the movie have to stop?
All right, well, let's give you some perspective because you like Miyazaki, who stops like every fucking while just to show you a random scene.
Yeah.
With nothing happening.
Just to make you feel just like here's someone waiting for the train. Oh,
I'm
so
just saying, like the musical number is a
love
moment
that.
like that. It's like they're showing you something.
They're not as sparingly handed out. Like if there were like 2 musical numbers in a movie, that would be like perfect.
Oh man.
Like just at the exact right moment.
This is
Like actually in Magnolia,
which I
that's
haven't
one of my
seen.
favorite. Yeah, and there's this moment like 3/4 of the way through the movie where all the characters just sing along to this Amy Mann song. And it's so beautiful and I love it. It makes no sense in the context of the movie. It's totally like you have to just suspend your disbelief. Like with all musicals, but I think it works really well, even though it's just the one musical number. It works perfectly.
This is wild to me. Because you're a person who loves music in general.
I do.
You're like the music guy that I know, and you hate musicals.
I am a musician, and music means more to me than anything else. I think so. This is the other big thing that I don't like about most musicals, and why I did like Dr. Horrible so much, which is that most musicals have horrible music. The music in musicals is like this like old timey, weird, like big band kind of theatrical, over the top. I don't know. I just can't get behind the style of music that most musicals have.
Interesting.
That's like my big stumbling block. It's just not music that I enjoy at all.
Does the music from Aladdin and Lion King fit into that category?
I think so.
It doesn't seem like that to me, but
Those feel like musical ass musicals to me.
they do, and they're amazing. I love every song. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I actually have hope now after this
Interesting.
conversation, based on what you said
Yeah.
you do like in musicals. So here's me being hopeful because I love this movie. My wife and I sing these songs all the time, inappropriately in front of our kids. So
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I think I might enjoy it.
yeah, are you
If it's funny.
a fan of these
Who knows?
people in any way in this movie that you do know?
I like Mel Brooks. Matthew Broderick, he's done a couple things I like, but mostly I think he's a little bland. Nathan
That's
Lane,
fair.
I love. I think
Okay.
Nathan Lane.
Thank goodness, because I fucking
is
love
a
Nathan
national
Lane.
treasure.
He
Yeah.
is so much.
Will Ferrell is all right.
Hit or miss.
Never gonna make me go see a movie.
That's
but
crazy.
He's also not gonna repel me from seeing a movie.
My problem with that is I feel like Will Ferrell, every other movie is gold, but every other movie is trash. So, like, I have to go see them all to know if it's trash or gold. Like, I don't know.
Fair enough.
I can see that being put off from some of his movies, like Kicking and Screaming, which we're never going to do on this podcast.
Well, I guess we'll see if this movie is gonna be trash or gold.
Oh, I know.
Well, I don't. We'll see.
Damn it.
I'm gonna go find out as we watch this movie right now.
Culture Gas.
Welcome back, everyone.
We just watched The Producers,
2005.
the 2005 version of The Producers, an adaptation of the stage play, as I came to
Yes.
learn.
A movie about a play based on a play about a play based on a movie about a play.
Yeah, something like that. It's a little convoluted, but yeah. This was quite the movie that you made me watch, Mike.
Well, I feel like I need to get something off my chest that's real serious right now.
Okay.
So I'm really bummed right now
Yeah.
because when I came into this episode here, I told you The Producers is one of my favorite movies.
You definitely
I
did tell
did.
me that. You said it was not in your top 10, but it's an honorable mention.
Yes. Now, I'm embarrassed to have said that. Now, here's why. When I watch this movie, this is a movie I put on in the background, right?
Okay.
So there are very good moments in this movie that I love a lot. However, sitting down to watch this movie
Yeah.
for this podcast has ruined it for me because it is so goddamn boring at times.
It really is. In fact, I would say it's boring. Yeah, I mean, this movie has a lot of flaws. I don't even know where to where to start. It's boring, but it's also exhausting because everything
Yes.
is pitched at like maximum volume. The performances are completely unhinged. Like there is not a single normal human being in this entire movie. Like everyone is like screaming to the rafters in this movie.
Yeah.
It's insane. I'm like these actors did not change their performances at all from the stage to the screen. And watching it on screen, it just seems like a bunch of cokeheads in the midst of manic episodes. Like it makes no sense. It's baffling. And then like the eccentric characters don't even read as eccentric because they're just the same as everyone else.
You're right. There's no straight man in this movie. There's no one who's
Normal. No, the closest thing is probably Ula. She's really not normal.
no, not at all.
Yeah,
God.
I did not have fun watching this movie. I'll say that.
That's crazy because I didn't either. That's so weird to me because I have such fond memories of this movie.
Yeah.
And my wife sat down to watch this movie with me, and she said the same exact thing I said.
Wow.
We both love this movie
But
for whatever we remembered it for. And then
Yeah.
when we sat down to watch it intently, and we had to sit through fucking Simba singing and dancing, which
Yeah.
he barely can do. Oh my God. For like 10 minutes straight?
10 full minutes. I will not lie to you. I got up and made a drink in the middle of his I want to be a producer number because
That's
it was
the one,
10
too.
full minutes. There wasn't even singing. It was a tap dance section of the song. So I was like, fuck this. I'm making a drink. So I got up and I made a Cape Cod. And then I came back 3 minutes later and the song wasn't even done.
Yeah, it went on. It dragged. And
Oh, boy.
there are so many points in this movie where I'm like, I feel bad for making Greg watch this movie, and I know he's hating it right now. Like, because it's like so musical.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just like, those aren't the parts I remember for some reason. Like, my mind has somehow, even that scene that you just talked about, I want to be a producer. In my mind, before, I was thinking, oh, this is that cool scene where he's in with all the accounting people, and because I love that scene where they're like unhappy.
Yeah, sure.
And I love that whole part. And then I forgot that it just, goes into this terrible number for 10 minutes because I
Right.
probably stopped watching at that point because it's on in the background.
Yeah, you'd pull out your phone or you wander away or whatever. I guess that's fair. If you're not actually watching the movie, it probably is a little more enjoyable.
Yeah, I don't know how I've made it this far thinking that I love this movie so much
Yeah,
based on these things.
That's interesting. I'm kind of glad to hear that because I will say, in general, I don't think this is like a horrible movie, but in terms of my personal preferences and taste, this is absolutely the worst movie we've watched so far in my mind.
Wow.
Like I was
No way.
dying during this movie. I would watch Top Gun 5 more times before I rewatched this movie.
Oh my God. No, I would not. I'm not that far down on this movie because there's still very redeemable qualities in this movie in my opinion.
I think you're right. And I also see how this movie could be really appealing to certain people. Like if you're into Broadway
like
musicals,
yeah,
but like Broadway musicals specifically, like old-timey 1950s Broadway musicals. Like if you're into that kind of thing, this is probably fun to watch. But if you are like me and that kind of thing makes your skin crawl, this movie is like absolute torture from beginning to end. It starts with like an opening night number, and I was like, oh, I can't. I'm so mad already.
Man,
Like, this
Greg,
is.
you should be in musicals.
I hate this stuff.
You were
so
great.
much.
You should be on Broadway.
On the way of broads.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that opening, I literally wrote my first note of all of my notes is as this movie was opening, I was like, oh boy, Greg is going to hate this.
Yeah.
Like that's my first note in the entire page of notes.
Yeah, my note was I'm already so mad that this is starting with an opening night musical number. Ugh.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had pretty much the same note. It's the very first
I will
thing.
say, I like that number better than the one in Temple of Doom's opening, so.
Oh boy. Yeah, that wasn't fun either. But, I think, we talked about it a little bit, I think, in the intro of this episode, but, my big issue with musicals, or my two big issues are, one, I don't like the style of music. So there's that, where, like, these songs, when they're playing, I'm just bored. Like, I don't care to hear them, so I just want them to be over. Which means that every time a song starts, I'm like rolling my eyes because I'm like, okay, well, now the movie has just like stopped and now I need to wait 5 minutes for it to start again.
Wow, that's how I feel about cutscenes in video games.
Yeah. See, you're one of those guys, huh?
I'm like, I gotta stop playing now so they can play something I don't want to see or hear. Come on.
Yeah. But then the other thing that I sort of have an issue with musicals, and again, I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm just trying to get more in depth with it, is just that the actual words are usually just like so expositional, like just telling instead of showing. Like the song that you just brought up a minute ago, where all these accountants are singing unhappy, unhappy, and you're just like, yeah, I got that. You didn't need to sing the word unhappy. I could tell by the set decoration and the way you guys are all like plugging in numbers and, you know, in unison, and you all look miserable, and you're being overseen by this big cigar smoking, you know, capitalist pig. I get it. You're
John
unhappy.
Lovitz?
Yeah, John Lovitz, who doesn't get enough to do in this movie. He has like 3 lines.
I know.
But yeah, that's my issue. And then, you know, it leads then into, I want to be a producer. I want to be a producer. And it's like, yeah, again, we saw that when he was sketching in his notebook, his name in lights. Like, that's all we needed. You could just show us that, and then we understand he wants to be a producer. But instead, we get a 10-minute musical number where he says the exact words, I want to be a producer, 100 times, as though we didn't get it. And I'm just like, this is what drives me crazy when these songs start, is like, I don't care to listen to the music, and the words aren't moving the story along. So what's the point? Like, just get to the thing. Get to the next plot point, please.
Yeah, I don't fully agree with you there. I'm fine with them pretty much performing exactly what they're thinking and saying it to you. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't like when they do it for 10 minutes straight and add nothing else of substance. I like when it is fast paced and moving, and they're moving through it quickly. But this doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And this honestly feels like it's meant for a stage.
It is.
This is what you go see at Broadway.
Right.
This is not what you see in a movie.
Well, and, you know, this movie was directed by the woman who directed the stage musical, who has no other film credits. This is the only movie she's ever directed. Which I thought this was going to be a Mel Brooks movie. And then I was like, saw her name as in the opening credits. And I was like, oh, Mel Brooks just wrote this. But
yeah,
regardless, you know, it still has Mel Brooks's humor all over it. But I do think that there's the issue of this was very much just like a 1-to-1 adaptation of stage to screen with not enough consideration given to how the stage show would translate to a movie.
Yeah. All that said about these songs, there are some songs that I do love in this movie. And I know you're not going to, because you hate this
I hated
type of
every
stuff.
song in this movie, so.
But because you already are going to hate those, let's talk about the ones
Okay,
I
Keep
do
It Gay is the only one that I could see.
Oh, it's the best.
Because I could see singing that in my actual life. I could see in real life just singing that every once in a while. Keep it gay.
I'm a big fan of the Guten Tag Hauptklapp with Will Ferrell.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. I love the pigeons, the Jim Henson pigeons.
Yeah, I liked seeing the little puppets. That was cute.
Yeah, I love that. Little pigeons saluting Hitler. There's always some sort of Nazi animals in the movies we watch.
Nazi pigeons in this one. Nazi monkey in Indiana Jones.
I love Springtime for Hitler. Anything to do with the actual play in the movie, I think, is fantastic and strong. It's kind of like what you said about Wayne's World. When they're doing Wayne's World, it's their best. Right. It's that in this movie to me.
Yeah. Well, that is one thing I thought was funny was like, you know, they're talking about how they were like, what did we do right? This musical was supposed to be so bad. We got the wrong director, the wrong costume designers, the wrong actors. And I'm like, no, you didn't. That performance was executed perfectly on every level.
I know.
Like the stage design was immaculate. The choreography was on point. Nobody missed a beat. Like even the Hitler performance is like, you know, over the top and queeny, but it's like, it's perfect. Like they nail every single thing. Like it's not like they did a bad job with this production.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. You know, overall, I thought this movie was just like
not for you,
not for me in any way,
sure.
shape, or form, and also just suffered from what we were saying, where sometimes it is so slow and boring, and then other times it's like so feverish and like hypermanic that you're just completely overwhelmed by what's happening on screen. Like, just like there's
Right.
like 10 slapstick pratfalls happening every 3 seconds. You're just like, oh my God, what's going on?
So, music aside,
Yeah.
I still think there's some very redeeming qualities of this movie outside the music. Namely, Nathan Lane, I think, is fantastic.
So I like Nathan Lane a lot, and I'm sure that performance worked on stage. But in this movie, I just thought he seemed insane, like an absolute
for sure.
insane person who was just like screaming to the he was just playing to the back of the house in a way that like it just doesn't read as a human being at all. It was like I couldn't get behind his performance in this movie. It was like, I'm sure this works in a live setting, but in the movie it just didn't work for me.
Wow. Yeah, it works for me. Yeah, I don't know. Something about the satire of this movie, as always, it just hits home for me. I love when he's being absolutely insane. I don't love when Matthew Broderick is being absolutely insane. His blanket thing in this movie is so
Yeah,
awkward
it's so
and weird.
strange.
And they keep bringing it back, and it's
Well,
like they couldn't get him to do anything else.
The scene that really put me off, it's the opening scene, but the point where Matthew Broderick somehow ends up on the floor and then Nathan Lane is standing over him and he's like, "You're gonna squish me. You're gonna jump on me and
Yeah.
squish me." And Nathan Lane then, in response to that, starts jumping up and down as though that's gonna help. And it's just like it's like, okay, so this is the Three Stooges. Like it's just a bunch of insane cartoon characters who aren't behaving like human beings. Like it's just so bizarre. The rules of this movie don't make any sense to me. I don't understand like how. Like what human beings and human society look like in this movie.
That's fair. This is probably worth asking you. Have you ever seen a play on Broadway?
Yes,
You have?
I have.
What'd you see?
When I was very young, I saw 42nd Street with my grandparents, and I hated it because it was really boring.
Was that like a sequel to 21 Jump Street?
No, it's like an old timey musical, I think from like the 40s or something. I don't know.
That
much
doesn't
about
sound
it.
fun.
It's like, I think it's like, Oklahoma or something. It's just one of those plays that you just like, you go see.
I guess.
And then at some other point, I saw this movie or this play with, it was like Jim Parsons playing God. It was almost a one-man show. I don't know. It was weird.
Wow.
Not a musical, though.
Not a musical.
It was not a musical.
Can you guess what I saw on Broadway?
The Lion King.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. Of course, that's what you would go see.
That's probably also what plays into this, why I liked this so much, is because of Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane being Timon and Simba. Because I love them so much in that movie, it probably made me like this more.
Okay, I guess. I guess this goes back to your theory that people just like what they liked when they were kids.
Oh yeah, people like what they like when they're kids, and also people have this also proved in this movie. I said this was one of my favorite movies, and then now it is definitely not. Like I was saying about Indiana Jones when we did that episode, people remember things differently than what it actually is. And
Right.
I feel like that happened for me in this.
Wow. This movie is only like, what, 17
2005.
years old?
Yeah, and I did.
So
did you
didn't
see it
this
when it came out?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Did you see this back then or did you see this more recently?
No. I saw it more recently in the last 10 years. I think part of what makes me have fond memories of it is it's something that I watched with Amelia. Like,
Right.
I remember watching it with her and loving it and quoting it together, singing these songs together. And I don't think we watched the entire movie when we were watching it the first time because
Yeah. The pacing is really weird in this movie. I mean, it's like
very strange.
it's okay, so it's an hour into this movie when Ula shows up for the first time.
Which didn't need to happen.
Ula?
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It felt like they were like, we need a female character in this movie who's not a little old lady that's being used for money.
Yeah. Who some of which were played by men.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I actually just had a note that was like, oh, wow, there's an actual woman in this movie an hour in.
Yeah.
It's like halfway through the movie she shows up. But then it's an hour and a half before the play even opens. And it's like, and like we go from auditions to opening night. Like they spend so much time just like, you know, in the beginning part, it's like the two guys meet, then they go their separate ways. Then there's like the 20-minute musical number about I want to be a producer. And then they have to like go get
it's growing.
They have to like get the script and they have to get the director and they do their auditions. And then it's just like, okay, it's opening night. And now everyone loves it. And now we're screwed. And the courtroom scene, wrap it up. Okay, we're done. It's just like so strange. The first hour of this movie should be maybe 20 minutes. It's like, it's all set up. But for whatever reason, it's an hour and a half before it even gets to the point where the musical opens. And so I guess this gets into, you know, my expectations for this movie going in. So I feel like through absolutely no effort of my own, I knew the entire plot of this movie. Because it's like,
for the most part, yeah.
I feel like it's in the ads and it's in the promos and the synopsis of the movie. It's just like two producers try to put on a failed musical and accidentally create a success. Like that's what the movie is about, right? But the point at which they accidentally create a success, there's only like 20 minutes left in the movie. It's like the movie's almost over at that point. So essentially the synopsis of this movie is like 3/4 of it, if not more.
There is one scene I want to talk to you about because it is my favorite scene and I really want to know your take.
Yeah, this is the gay scene, I'm assuming.
The gay scene.
Yeah.
Because I love it.
Okay, so there were like I think like 4 jokes in this movie I liked. And 2 of them were part of the whole, you know, gay scene.
Oh my god. I die laughing at that still.
Where they go to this director's house and for whatever reason his apartment is just like a menagerie of different types of gays. But like different, it's like gay stereotypes. Yeah, but that's what I mean. They're like gay stereotypes from like the 80s. Like they're not.
It's also it's probably gay stereotypes who like musicals because it seems like bears maybe don't like musicals. Is what I'm getting from this podcast.
I mean, there is that like butch like leather daddy guy who's kind of a bear. But yeah, I mean, in general, it's just like that whole thing feels very much like the way you would make fun of gay people in the 80s, you know.
Does it?
Yeah, it just feels like they're like it's not like not in an offensive way, like in a just like it's outdated, like the references just aren't current anymore.
That's fair.
But the 2 jokes from that scene that I liked were when they first arrive and the weird assistant guy says yes for 23 seconds.
Yes. He's the best, in my opinion.
Oh, I hated him, but I thought that was funny.
God, I love him. The line where he goes, Roger, we're not alone. I love that part. It's like one of the parts.
I don't even know what that's in reference to.
Oh God, he just calling Roger and he just says we're not alone. All weird. That's great.
Okay, sure. And then the other joke from that scene that I liked was the visual gag of the Chrysler building dress. I thought that was funny.
That's what you liked?
Yeah.
Talk about dated.
When it
Oh my
zooms
God.
out and it's like the Chrysler building. I mean, no, I don't think it's funny that it's just like, oh, haha, here's a man in a dress. But I do think that the dress itself is funny.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I also like the part where he asks if he wants to take their coats or their hats or their swastikas.
Oh, yeah, and they forgot that. I knew that was coming, though, because at the end of the last scene, they walk out with their swastikas still on.
They do.
And
then
it's
they
like
say-
and it's like everyone in this movie is so fucking stupid, they will never realize it. Like you're just like, no, they're going to wear those swastikas in the next scene, and then they're gonna go like, oh, whoa, 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 I can't believe I was still wearing that. Because their performances leave no room for any kind of subtlety.
harsh.
I was not into this movie at all.
I can see it. I mean, if you had to sit through all those numbers, you're not going to enjoy any of the rest of it just because of those.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, again, as I say, there were like a couple of jokes that I did like the ones I mentioned, and I liked when Matthew Broderick calls his boss a certified public asshole.
Oh God, I love that part.
It's it's low hanging fruit, but it's just like really fun in the context of the scene, and I liked the way Matthew Broderick delivered the line. I just thought that was really fun.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually like the line before it when John Lovitz is telling him he's just a public accountant and he's a certified public accountant. Like it means so much more in the accounting world.
Yeah.
It was more subtle. I just thought it was, I don't know.
You like
Hit
the
hard.
setup. I like the punchline.
Yeah.
And then the other joke I really liked was the Metamorphosis script, the Kafka thing that Nathan Lane picks up. He's like, when they're looking for bad scripts, and he's like, oh,
Yeah.
Gregor Samsa woke up as a giant insect. or
Yeah.
whatever. I was like, yeah, I would love to see a musical of Kafka's Metamorphosis.
Wow.
So speaking of Ula, you know what else I hated about her? The same thing happens that we talked about with the Indiana Jones movies, where she and Matthew Broderick just like fall in love in the course of about 5 minutes.
You know, I don't hold it against this movie as much because it's a comedy. If
So
it's
is-
a serious movie.
Indiana Jones, those movies are comedies too.
Yeah, I'm finding out new things about Indiana Jones every day.
Yeah. No, in this movie, it's just like, there's like, they just like sing a song together, and then, then they're together. They're just in a relationship now.
Yeah, I mean, she's there for that reason in this movie, which is bad in itself, but
Yeah.
like I'm not going to hold that part against that
I don't
because
know.
it's already insane. Like everything's already crazy.
I guess, but it's just like she doesn't even need to really be in the movie in terms of plot.
Yeah, no, that's what I said earlier. Yeah, we don't need that.
But also, like, I don't know. It's just like, I guess this gets into my issue with musicals in general as well. Is like, I know I'm just being a stick in the mud at this point, but like, there's a bit of like what is the reality of the scene when they're singing and dancing together, right? Like in that scene, Matthew Broderick is like singing into Uma Thurman's face, like they're 2
Yeah.
inches away from each other, making
That's the song
prolonged
about
eye
her
contact.
face, right?
Yeah, I think so. But it's just like, okay, so what's happening in actual reality? Are they are they just looking at each other silently? Is he actually
God,
singing
Greg.
this song?
Greg,
Like-
if you don't understand musicals, you don't understand musicals.
I guess this is what I'm saying. I don't understand musicals. Like what is happening in this scene that like it's 5 minutes of them singing and dancing around, and then they're in a relationship afterward, which implies that what happened in that scene is real. But
Yes.
nobody would ever behave that way in real life. And
Oh,
that
no,
scene is only like 5 minutes of like, it seems to be implying that they're just like, oh no, there were like 3 months of courtship that you're not seeing here. We're just condensing it down to this 5-minute song. But that song is only one scene long. So I'm like, what? Like, what is what is it? What's happening?
The reality doesn't matter here, Greg. Some people just like things delivered in song and dance. Okay? That's
Yeah.
just what people like. If they want reality to be just everyone breaks out into musicals all the time.
Right.
That's what I want.
I guess. I mean, maybe this is me just being like, you getting hung up on Magic and Indiana Jones or whatever. It's like some people love that shit. Some people it turns them off.
I do love magic though. I just don't like when it feels out of place. Or when I think it's supposed to be out of place, which I've explained.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like musicals, and I don't understand how they're supposed to work, and they don't make sense.
I'm going to
me.
make you watch a musical every time.
Please don't.
I'm going to. They're going to be better though.
Oh boy.
You ever see Lion King?
Yeah,
It's got a Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick.
I have seen Lion King. It's fine. It'd be better without music.
That's batshit crazy.
You could probably cut all the musical numbers from every musical and they would still work just fine.
No.
Yeah. This movie would be better without the music for sure.
I agree, but I like musicals. Like, that's a separate point. Yeah, you don't like when the guy's on stage, he's like, Heil me, Heil myself. I love that part.
No.
Come on.
No. I guess
Well, you don't like Hitler?
like we're saying this movie would be better without the songs. I'm just like, why didn't we just watch the original?
Why didn't we watch the original? Here's why, Greg.
Yeah.
I was hoping this wouldn't come up on the podcast because I haven't seen the original.
Yeah. Neither
But
have I.
now that we both have said we haven't seen it, we know what the next episode's going to be.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if I want to watch
Can you imagine doing both producers back to back on this
to back.
podcast? Wow.
that would be a lot. But I do wonder
Yeah,
if
it
that would
would.
be better if it's just the satire without all the weird musical stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I love the satire and comedy in this movie. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I feel like
I
it
think
could
the
be
music
fun.
ruined it
Yeah.
when I watched it through.
I completely agree with you.
Because I'm used to tuning it out, but when we have to sit down and watch something for this, and I have to take notes, and I'm sitting like, what do I write? Matthew Broderick can't sing and dance? Like, I don't know.
I agree. I think the music in this movie just completely ruined it.
Listen, you would have loved the movie that I remembered.
I definitely thought this movie was just going to be a straightforward non-musical about a musical. I was fine watching a movie about a musical, and like if I had to listen to some Broadway songs in the course of that, sure, whatever. But I didn't. The point at which the actual plot of this movie becomes a musical, and just the fact that, like, oh my God, the performances in this movie are like theatrical to the point of insanity. It's just like, it just turned me off altogether to this movie.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
can see that.
hate the idea of musicals, but
You do.
No.
You've clearly defined that you hate the idea of musicals in every way.
no, I hate the execution of musicals. I don't hate the idea of them. I just think that in execution, everything that I've laid out is like all these issues that I run into, like what's actually happening, and like why are you just singing things that we have heard you say or we've seen you demonstrate? And why do these songs all sound so boring?
Oh my God.
It's all like
Greg,
Christmas music.
What you don't like Christmas music now, Greg?
No,
First you don't like dogs, you don't like Chewbacca, you don't like Hitler, now you don't like Christmas music.
Okay, you're putting a lot of words in my mouth, but
Yeah.
some of those I like, some of those I don't.
Well, you've defined what you want a musical to be, and I'll be honest with you, it sounds a lot like a score. It sounds like the score to a movie. You just want a soundtrack.
I do like that, but no, I think
That's a good idea.
okay, here's what I would like from a musical. The songs would need to be more contemporary. less going after like an early 20th century like pig band musical theater style, and something a little more like
I didn't follow those words, but I'm sure someone out there did.
just something a little more modern, something a little more like, rock or electronic or hip hop. I don't know, just something that's a little more.
You seen Into the Heights?
No,
Is that the name of the movie?
it's In the Heights.
In the Heights, yeah.
But yeah, no,
Into the Woods, you seen that?
yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda is definitely like leading the charge in terms of this type of musical, and I do like some of his songs, but
I find it gets old real quick.
Lin-Manuel,
Yeah.
yeah,
The songs in those movies, you're like, oh, this is cool. It's different. It's a different type of musical. It's hip hop. And then all of a sudden, like, it goes on for like 5 minutes, and you're like, oh, this is not good anymore.
I mean, that's how I feel about every musical, but yeah. I mean,
Well, if you keep them short, like something like Lion King,
yeah.
Disney movies, they do it right.
But yeah, so, all of that aside, that's one thing that I would like to see in a musical, ideally, would be more contemporary music. But then also, I would want the songs to be more substantial, like something happens in them, like the beginning, the beginning of the song and the end of the song, like the plot has progressed, or something has happened, the character has developed. I don't know, anything, and it's not something that we've just like seen them do already. It's just like this song actually has like a point in the movie, and then the third thing is that there are like actual rules to the way that the song is being executed in whatever way. Like,
What do you mean rules?
Like either they are actually singing this song in the movie, or the song is in their imagination. Like
I like that vagueness.
it has to either be real or imagined. When it's just like it's both. It's real and imaginary. I don't know. It's real when we want it to be, and it's made up when we want it to be. Like that's
I feel like
where
that's
it
a
loses
vibe
me.
very specific to musicals, that if you like musicals, that is something you like, is when you don't know if it's real or not. Like, I feel like
okay.
that's a quality that people like in musicals.
Maybe it is, but it's something that I hate about them. So.
And then you're thinking about it like, well, I don't know. I find it interesting to think about while watching it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe someday there will be a musical that proves me wrong. But as it is now, it's just like in general, when there's when I'm watching a musical, it's just like, yeah, just skip the songs, please, and just show me the actual movie.
Wow. For someone who loves music so much.
I do love music, but I'm very picky about music, you know?
Yeah.
You know, one thing I thought was interesting about this movie is
Hit me.
the way it becomes, is the way that the play becomes a success. So that was one thing I didn't know, like how it was going to play out. I knew that they put on this play expecting it to be a failure, and then it unexpectedly becomes a success. And I was like, well, how? I guess we'll find out why people love this play about Hitler. And it turns out it's a gay joke. It's literally, the reason they love it is just that Hitler is being played as gay. And it's like, I guess the implication is like, we're just making fun of Hitler. Like, what if Hitler were a queen? Like that's the entirety of it. And then everyone is just like, oh yeah, we're just like taking the piss out of Hitler. That's what this musical is about, and so we love it because it's actually satirizing Nazism. Like, I just didn't expect that the thing that was going to make this play a success was, like, that a gay man was playing Hitler.
That's fair.
Like, I didn't think it all hinged on a gay joke.
You kind of did.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel kind of guilty for liking that so much.
I don't think you have to feel
I don't know if I
guilty.
should.
No, I think it's funny.
Because I think I like how gay it is. I think that's like... that's the appeal watching it from this perspective, not from that audience's perspective. But
Well, I guess I'm thinking like from the audience's perspective, it is kind of funny. Like, this idea of like the queeniest Broadway star. Like Broadway is like notoriously very gay. So,
oh yeah, Tony.
so like, I guess the idea of having someone extremely gay and flamboyant play Hitler and using that as a way to sort of like, just like make fun of this idea of Hitler and tear down his, his public image by making him seem, effeminate and queenie or whatever is like, I guess, kind of a funny idea. It just feels like really outdated, I guess is the thing. It's just like, it's like, okay, well, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just like we're living in the post Jojo Rabbit world where we saw Taika Waititi play Hitler, and it's just like, I don't know, anyone can be Hitler.
That's fair.
But yeah, I overall did not love this movie. I mean, I guess it's tough because obviously this just like for me personally, this is like exactly the type of movie I hate. So in terms of my personal enjoyment of it, I feel like I would give this movie a 1 out of 10 because it did have a couple of good jokes. But in terms of a movie in general, like if you're not like me or you do like musicals, I think I would give it like a 5 out of 10.
Okay, well, good segue because that's what I gave it. I did love this movie, and now I like this movie. Not like I still wouldn't sit down and watch the entire thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you would just put it on in the background.
I'd put it on in the background. I'd watch the parts I absolutely love, and I would skip over those music numbers. And that's fine for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, so the next movie will not be a musical, hopefully.
We've already decided what movie we're doing.
What?
Greg.
When did we decide this?
You always act so coy. Oh man, you know what movie we're doing.
What movie could we possibly be doing? It couldn't be some sort of seminal 90s comedy, could it?
Maybe it could, and maybe it could be a movie about your favorite day of the goddamn week.
Monday. Oh, love those Monday mornings, baby.
Wait, no, not Monday. No. I'm talking like, do you know where we are, Greg? It's Friday then.
It's Saturday, Sunday.
What? Yeah.
Friday.
You've
never seen Friday?
I've never seen Friday.
I've never seen Friday either. But I know a lot about it. Actually,
because I don't.
That's not really true. I know a couple jokes from it, but I actually don't know anything. I don't know what it's actually about.
You know, you retain a lot of information about things that you don't even know about.
Yeah.
Well, you know things from things you don't know, but for me, it's like I don't care. I delete it from my mind.
Yeah, you don't even know things.
You
don't even know things about the things you do know.
Exactly. I don't even know things.
I know things about movies I haven't seen, and you don't know things about movies you have seen.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like my brain's at maximum capacity, and I need to constantly flush things out.
Yeah, that's probably
I'm
just
technically smarter than you. Despite what everyone thinks.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you're smarter than me, but what do you mean by technically?
Technically.
But yeah, I feel like I also am probably deleting things to make room for all these memories, but I just don't know what they are. Like I'm just deleting my childhood or something.
You're erasing your childhood.
Yeah, like one day I'm gonna wake up and be like, where did I grow up?
Doesn't matter. I know a shit ton about Friday now.
Yeah, like I could tell you who's in this obscure movie.
Don't remember my dad.
Yeah. Don't remember my dad, but I remember Swim Fan.
Oh God.
All right. Well, in the next episode, we will get talking
Yes, we will.
about Friday.
About Friday then. Oh, we need a quote from this movie.
Yeah? You going to take us out on a quote?
I didn't prepare one.
Keep it gay, keep it gay, keep it gay.
Keep it going.
Culture Gap.